post Canada Day. So first and foremost, happy Canada Day to all my Canadian viewers. If you have no idea what Canada Day is to my non-Canadian viewers, it's a celebration of Canada. Always on July 1st. Not to be confused with July 4th.
Good morning. Oh, hello. Doing my best to keep up.
We just did Zwift rides yesterday in celebration of Canada Day. The hordes typically descend in the nation's capital. They go down to the Parliament buildings in celebration of Canada. Used to be a big party. Now it seems to be large protests. So we wanted to avoid that. I don't think the protests really happened in a large scale, but it's better to avoid it anyways. So instead we're heading out today. It's pretty early for us. Like 8:40 a.m. Just so excited. Linda's had quite the week. I'll talk more about that in a minute.
Oh, great.
I'll give you lots of warning. Got a couple of pictures to share.
Oh, it's ugly. It's ugly.
Gruesome. But here we are, once again. Our favorite launching point. This is Gamlan. And how's it going back there?
It's going good. Good. Working hard. Overheating a little bit.
So temperature 18 degrees. I think it's increased a little bit since we left the house.
I think so.
Yeah, so the arm warmers are going.
For now. We'll see when we come down the hills.
Yeah. Here's the plan. This is a little bit of an experiment for me today. Normally I do most of the Gatineau Park in my big ring. I run a 5239 and in the back I've got an 1132. So it's pretty doable for most people. For some people, it's pretty doable to do most of the park in the big ring. There's some steeper parts which, you know, require me to drop down to the smaller ring. But yeah, so here's the experiment for the day. On the longer climbs, I'm going to drop down to my smaller ring, my 39, because I find that when I'm in the big ring, up around my 32, the chain crossover is not optimum. So, and I run out of options. I can only spin so fast in those high gears. So the experiment is drop it down and see how I feel. See if I can still put out the same amount of power. I'm sure I can. Targeting around 300 watts, 300 plus on the longer climbs. That's Pinks and Fortune. And yeah, see how it goes. It's a busy day in the park today.
Yeah. I was surprised the path up here was so quiet. This is what I expected.
Yeah, I thought we were early starters. It doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, let's get this experiment started. Wish me luck.
I'm gonna stay in my easy for a lot of this. It's not really an experiment.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. Pink's done. Pink's is about at its steepest 9%. Doesn't last very long at that gradient. I'd say it averages around 5-6% for about 800 meters or so. As I said, I normally do that in my 52-28, around there. But it's a grind, really low cadence. 70 or so, something like that. So, okay, I just did it. My 39, 28, maybe 26, and kept the power at around 300 watts, 305 watts. I actually think, A, it was more enjoyable, but in order to get the wattage up, there needs to be a cadence increase, obviously. So, where I would normally mash up there around 70 RPM, I gently spun up there. I'm gonna get run over here. I gently spun up there at around 85 RPM. Now, what I'm trying to do is spin at my comfortable cadence, which is around 90 RPM, but hold the watts. So I'm trying to find the right gearing for that. And while I'm filming this, I'm waiting on lovely Linda. She's had a week. Details to follow. Crested ye old fortune. I always do that. Well, last year a couple of times. Let me back that up. A couple of times last year I did fortune, which is about 1 kilometer long, averages 6-7%, not unlike pinks. One of the big differences, if you know, you know, if you don't, is that it plateaus a little bit about halfway up, which is oh sweet relief. Anywho, last year a couple of times I did the whole loop, actually, including fortune in my big ring. It's just a grind. And here's the other thing I find, and you know, I don't know if you're the same way, but if I'm pushing a big ring for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes up some pretty steep climbs, the lower back really starts to hurt, and it sucks. If you have lower back pain and you're on a bike for a long period of time, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's unpleasant, and it makes the whole beautiful enjoyment of riding a bike. It denudes all the enjoyment and fun out of riding a bike. So that's one of the other reasons why I'm trying to spin a smaller gear and improve the old cardiovascular system, which is pretty good these days. It's not too bad. The other thing, new sunnies. Yeah, did a video on these last week. This is the first ride. I didn't break them out last weekend. Delayed gratification. As I mentioned, these are the POC Aspires. I have a white and orange pair with a nice mirror lens. I think these ones are pretty dope. Digging on the old sea blue, light blue. What you call that? Dope though. Loop of the Gatineau Park done and dusted. How was it for you?
It was hard work. Yeah, really hard work. But I did it. So that's good. How was it for you?
It's awesome. So update on my little experiment. Yeah, so 2 major climbs if you're going anti-clockwise in the Gatineau Park. 2 major climbs for me anyways, and they're not really major. It's not Alpe d'Huez by any stretch of the imagination. But they're lumpy. So pinks and Camp Fortune. I always do Camp Fortune in my small ring anyways. I never do pinks in my small ring. Yeah, you know what? All the way around, normally by this stage I've got a little bit of lower back pain, as I mentioned previously. I think that's just pushing a big ring and big gear all the way around the park, and it's not necessary. Yeah, so we'll take a look at the numbers. I don't think they're going to be much different. As long as you keep that cadence up, I think you're going to be okay. What do we have in store now?
Well, we've got to get home. We might have a little bit of a person dodging ride through downtown Ottawa. Get home, and then there's a little bit of picking up some food and making some lunch and getting ready for dinner. Easy Saturday. Nice.
Sounds pretty perfect to me. Let's get going. Okay guys, a few things I want to wrap up with and also offer a bit of an explanation. Yeah, so we're 1 year old. The channel is 1 year old. Linda was super awesome. She bought us that amazing bottle of champagne to celebrate last night because it's quite an achievement. Been doing this for 12 months. I think the channel's come a long way from the early days, and first and foremost I want to thank all of you for watching from all over the world. It's really quite incredible. I've had some amazing comments and I thank you for those, and I appreciate the support, and from this point on I just think the channel is going to grow and grow. It's a lot of fun to do this, and I really appreciate you guys chiming in and liking it and subscribing. It's fantastic. Thank you very much. It can only get better, right? The other thing is, at the start of the vlog, I mentioned Linda had a bit of an issue this week. It started out as somewhat innocuous. It looked like a spider bite or some kind of bug bite, but it grew into this. So she was just coming off of an infection, an eye infection of some sorts, where she had to load up on antihistamines, and then she got bitten by this, what looks like a tarantula bite. We don't know what bit her. Rattler, because those are so indigenous to Canada, but something bit her, and she had a nasty infection as a result of that bite. So she was back on to the antihistamines, back on the Claritin, back on the Benadryl, but she's turned the corner. So she had all those drugs coursing through her system on the ride yesterday, and but she did great considering. So she's on the mend. More content coming up on the weekend, maybe a midweek vlog coming up as well. We'll see. Have a great week. We will regroup. Take care.